Gatot or a Khalid, but he's able to dodge that damage. And dodging is better than tanking.
I literally invented one.
I think that also kind of depends on who you ask, though, sometimes, right? Well, let's see what happens, because Aurora still going to be going ahead to ban out that chip on the blue side alongside the Hilda. So, surprisingly, an effective strategy.
I kind of feel like it's because when Chip got got nerfed, is a very strong hero still, for sure. Very strong hero, but is not a hero you want to first pick anymore. Yeah, that was a good. I saw it. That was good stuff.
No problem. Gotta handle all the little corners. All right, first pick. What's it gonna be? The Matilda is taken off the board. I think that caused a lot of trouble for Aurora when the game began. And the moment you say it, the show gets contested away by Aurora themselves.
It's like I know these things, man. It's like I knew. I play Rome Mustafa, and I know how tough it is to just tank up straight up damage. Like, I don't know how to use a Cho, and yet I look amazing on a Cho just because this meta is more suited for heroes like him, which makes me want to experiment with the likes of Ruby. I just haven't gotten the time to do it yet. Aurora now picking up the Eve as an answer towards the Valentina as well as the Gatot. Will they pick up an Alpha here? Alpha is still open.
Alpha seems like it would be pretty solid if you ask me. It already worked really, really well in game number 1. Though the Matilda definitely boosted his effectiveness overall. So looks like Aurora thinks that without that part of the puzzle, Moskov is a more important factor.
I am vengeance in
And I kind of feel like Aurora, their ego challenging RQ Hoshi. If you guys want to pick up the Alpha, look at the heroes that we got. We got ways to fight the Alpha. We got an Eve, we got a Cho. So they're like preventing RQ Hoshi from picking it up. So they're forcing RQ Hoshi to ban it away. And now RQ Hoshi, they're picking up the Natan, which has been a staple even since from previous patch, where even if you're having a bad early game, it will save you in the late game.
I feel like Natan is just ridiculous. I said it yesterday, I'll say it today, I'll say it until something changes. He's just so strong in every single phase of the game. It is crazy. But what's even crazier is that normally you wouldn't see people pick up an Eve into a Valentina, because now you have 2 boxes of death to deal with. It just shows how confident Aurora are with this hero.
I'm just gonna emphasize on your point where I feel like Natan now, his power spike is the first item. Once he has the Starlium Scythe, he can already start bursting people down. It's not consistent, but it's enough, you know? So that just shows how strong it is. Now, RQ Hoshi, they ban out the Phantom, but Aurora, they themselves ban out the Alpha, which I thought they would force RQ Hoshi to ban out. But maybe something with this Natan pick makes Aurora feel that an Alpha is still possible for RQ Hoshi.
If they're going in this direction, it seems like both teams are just thinking of going for the Assassin v Assassin jungle here.
Or Fredrin. I hope not, but Fredrin.
Fredrin. Yeah, I don't think so. If you're going for a Fredrin, you want to have just straight up a whole bunch of damage everywhere else. And I'm not really seeing those kind of drafts yet.
But now RQ Hoshi, they're banning out the Joy, so they agree with what you're saying, Staffa, because a Joy on Aurora is going to be pretty good, because the Nathan is pretty strong, but the Nathan doesn't have consistent dashes. So once the Joy starts dancing, Nathan starts screaming. I
feel like the scream would be a little bit more of a
more
terrifying.
Like,
And then I feel like it'd be more guttural.
No, that sounds bad as well.
No, that's correct. That's exactly
correct.
what Natan sounds like.
All right. Not really how it looks like, but okay. Let's speculate about this. I was talking about the Fredrin, and now they ban out the Alpha and the X-Borg, both being very famous of chunking down tanky, beefy boys. Or girls. Not discriminating.
Yeah, we have to be inclusive here. Gatot is one of those beefy, tanky boys. Or girl, we don't discriminate. So without the Benedetta, we have actually been starting to see a little bit more Benedetta again in the EXP lane in recent days to kind of match the macro of certain other teams. So, okay, let's see where this goes.
So the Benedetta pickup is pretty hype. And Eve, okay, I mean, like we said, Yue is going to have a tough time with the dives, but we saw what happened in game number 1. He might be fine, right? He might be fine. Now, Aurora, I'm more interested to see.
Oh,
Did I not call it, Stafa?
you did call it. You did call it. That's why we call you LaFred.
No. I'm a failed analyst, all right? The draft speaks loudly. Now, RQ Hoshi, last pickup here. They kind of need some kind of physical damage unless this Benedetta is going for damage build, because they already have a lot of magic damage. They need a little bit more physical. And they kind of need a tank killer as well, which is kind of difficult. Oh, they're picking out the Bane.
I was thinking
That's
about
actually
the Bane.
quite a solid pick.
Yeah, because you probably do need a fighter jungler to deal with Brethren. And then if you can handle the dive somewhat, then it will be really, really good. So the Bane seems like a pretty solid pickup there. But we are seeing slightly different compositions here going into game number 2. What do you think, Lafel?
Looking at RQ Hoshi, they want to fight with a little bit more control. We gotta see what Dyran picks up as his battle spell as well. Will it be the Revitalize or will it be the Petrify? But having the Bane makes it so that you're kiting around, right? You're moving backwards and you're letting Benedetta do her own thing in the back line, because if they dive in with the Deadly Catch, you're able to push people away, creating more space for it in a time. So for RQ, it's a draft for Skylar. And for Aurora, this is like Mlbb 2 years ago, where you have the Fredrin, where you're just forcing fights time and time again, and except this time, having the Eve, you're able to slow down the enemy so much, so you can able to dish out free damage. And the Cho as well. I'm pretty sure Cho is gonna have Drill. This is still, even though it's like utility over utility over utility, Aurora's 3-man mid lane is actually very strong.
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from there as well. So now that we're back in the land of dawn for game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, I feel inclined to remind you of the stakes, because if Aurora are able to take one more game, they immediately qualify to the next stage of the Snapdragon Pro series. RQ needs to do everything in their power to stop their tracks.
Right now, we got to do a little bit of house cleaning here. But first of all, I'm looking at the gold lane here, and it looks like Dominkite is actually having priority over Skylar. Something to note here is that Dyran is going to be using the Revitalize. And looking at Dyran's talent setup, looks like he's going to be a little bit more aggressive, having the Trill as well as the Spell Vamp thing.
Speaking of aggression, though, down here, Edok and Skylar both already taking a lot of punishment from Yue and Renegade. Edok not really catching a break this series. In game 1, he was getting abused pretty hard in the first few minutes, too.
Oh, and something we haven't highlighted, Renegade, Cho is his hero, man. Like,
true.
No matter which lane he goes to, if he's playing jungle, EXP, whatever, if he's using the Cho, then Renegade fans, they don't have to worry about anything.
Ooh, there we go. A praises Raph. I'd love to see it. Just turn Skylar into a pile of mush for first blood.
You say love to see it? I would say debatable. It depends.
I mean,
which
if you're on the
side...
receiving end, you know,
yeah,
then you won't see it before you're turned into a pile of mush. So it's fine.
Yeah, honestly, Fredrin is a TikTok favorite, man. Like, so many clips of 4,000 damage on the Princess Raph. It's like, ugh.
Even
Disgusting.
I have a TikTok clip on Fredrin. That's how you know.
Oh, really?
There's a lot. Yeah, I do, actually.
Oh, well, there you go. You got the Chos, you got the Fredrins. So now with RQ Hoshi, they're still fine because their comp does scale up, so it's okay. Having Skylar die there is kind of not okay.
Yeah, Yue continuing his control of the skies from the last round by taking out Skylar himself in the bot lane, despite it being a 2v3. That real world manipulation being able to extend all the way under tier 1. And now we can see why they picked up this hero despite having to face a Valentina.
Yeah, Yue now as well. In the previous game, he was basically untouched. Perhaps the same thing can be said about this game because looking at how Renegade is moving around. Oh, now Demon Kite as well.
Deadly Catch able to stop Demon Kite from going forward. Entropy allows Skylar to walk back as well. That means that Aurora cannot continue their pursuit here, so RQ with some breeding room, but unfortunately they found her in, though with the Purify, he is fine.
Do you worry if Frederick comes back to the meta, Staffa?
Well, we haven't seen him in a long time, so I actually don't mind seeing him a little bit. What I do worry about is if we see nothing but Frederick.
Okay. You know what? I'll agree with you there. Frederick is fine. Not every game, Frederick. Speaking of every game, looking at the top lane here, it looks like Darren gets punished so hard, and now Demon Kai goes to the jungle.
Not able to get his own purple buff. Avatar the Guardian a bit too late, and the way of oh wow, he just gets kicked back into the Appraiser's Wrath, and Demon Kite has some takoyaki for dinner. Unfortunately, Edok and Skylar in the front line finally picks up Yue and are able to walk back into their own tier 1 to be able to stay safe from the rest of Aurora.
I mean, so far, Aurora is having amazing control. 1.5k gold ahead, and Demon Kite, he's basically 80% HP here. He's completely fine with contesting the turtle again. And again, Frederick is one of those turtle contests that is very hard for you to really do anything. Especially as a Bane that lost his purple buff that doesn't have retry. Yeah, this is going to be a free turtle for Aurora all day, every day.
RQ understand it as well, and we can see them already shifting to defensive positions. Renjay looking for Skylar, not able to find him, but with the wave cleared up, Domenkite not going to be able to find too much more gold off of it. Dyren wants to look for an ult, but without Petrify, he's not really able to set up, so Aurora just gets to walk away.
Looking at the goal leaderboard here, both side laners for Aurora is actually doing very, very well. Now, even the jungler, they're shifting between Demon Kite as well as Sutsujin, but really a big difference here. 3.7k for the Moskov, and Skylar is nowhere near.
Yeah, that is not a good sign, because we literally mentioned earlier, Nathan as a hero just is so strong in general throughout the game, and Aurora knows this, so a lot of additional pressure has been put on Skylar's lane in particular, just to make sure that Domeng has a great time.
And they're like, oh, we heard you're strong, but are you 1v3 kind of strong? It looks like, not really. Like, as strong as the hero is, going up against Renegade, Yue, Demon Kite, as well as Domeng Kite, it's a very big ask for Skylar on this Natan, especially when we see when Edok comes to help save him, Edok takes so much damage that he really can't contribute too much. And Skylar, whether he likes it or not, has to stay under his turret.
He may be able to walk through time, but he's not really able to walk through people. Aurora gonna continue initiating on the bot lane, targeting Edok. Nagatot again forced back, even the Spear of Destruction, just to contribute a little additional damage. Oh, concealed play, way of the dragon right into the real world manipulation, and that is going to be a dead Sutsujin. Dyren trying to stop Yue, but again, no Petrify. He can only just walk back. Renegade being as annoying as we expect, and Aurora continuing to apply pressure, looking for even more across the map. Tier 1 gonna be the target. Appraiser's Trap does some solid damage once again. Real one manipulation though, this time trapping Demon Kite, but he's able to still walk away despite everything.
Dude, how is that fair? How is that fair? Demon Kite still survives after all of that, getting tower shot, being in the real world manipulation, gets a turtle. Oh,
he lives up to his name, you know? He can kite anything, even on a slow hero.
So that's why. All right, now a kick going on to Dyren. It looks like not gonna be much there. Aurora, like you said, Stefan, just keeps on putting the pressure, making it so that Hoshi don't have time to breathe. And looking at how Edok has been playing, this is one of those times where I reminded myself of my rank games and why I don't like using roam.
You know, I absolutely understand, because I feel the same way. I feel really bad for Edok right now. His score is 1-0-0, actually pretty good for a roam, but he's been able to contribute so little to the overall game so far.
Yeah. But to be fair, no one from RQ Hoshi really has an impact so far. Dyron hasn't, Rins hasn't, Susujin hasn't. This really does feel like RQ Hoshi. They're just playing for farm, and they're not trying to find unnecessary fights. Or at least for RQ Hoshi, most of the fights seem unnecessary just because even if we do fight, what are the chances that we're gonna win? It's very low.
Dyron in trouble. Spear of Destruction already connected, and here comes Renegade.
itu
Iver
Dyron.
9 keeps him alive for a
Waduh,
little bit,
dibantai
but
Gindang.
not against 3 members of Aurora. They're just continuing to find picks everywhere
Ini
across
masih
the
ada
map.
itu.
And even though it seems like a lot has happened so far, actually only 7 kills in total this game, 5 in favor of Aurora.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but RQ Hoshi, they need to find an opportunity to get something here. Because again, they're playing very, very defensive. And this is not to their fault. This is how their draft is systematically supposed to be played. But again, once they have an opportunity to turn things around, then it's going to be good. The bad thing here is Tafa is that from Aurora, not a single person has more than 3 kills. Yeah. So no big shutdown goal will be held. Even if they kill Demon Kite, the amount of gold they get from Demon Kite isn't that much because he only has 2 kills.
And this is one of the positives as well of just Filipino gameplay, where if there's not a lot of kills, no matter how far ahead you are, you dying actually doesn't create that much of an impact because you just don't have any shutdown gold to give away. Next Lord now gonna be the target. Aurora gonna take their time with this one.
Yeah.
RQ Hoshi, they're trying to use this Lord as a bit of a leverage to keep Aurora here. Sujin gets found out by Renegade.
Where the dragon kicks him right into the rest of the Aurora gang, and Abraze's Wrath finishes him off. UA wins the death box fight against Rins. Skylar has to use Entropy defensively. Dyron will be able to get some split push in on the bottom side of the map, but is it gonna be enough?
Honestly, this might be over for RQ Hoshi because rarely do we see that happening where a jungler gets straight up caught by a Cho, because usually you would have your members of the team or the jungler himself opening up the map. Like, look at this. It's weird that Sujin, maybe he was looking at his items or something, but he reacted so late towards Renegade catching him there. I mean, Bane doesn't have a dash, so even if he notices, what else is he gonna do? But still, this shows that might be over.
Renegade actually caught out between all 5 members, but survives on 10% HP, even after everything. With all the resources spent, Susujin just barely able to secure his orange buff.
I mean, if this keeps on going on, Staffa Aurora looks like they have the first ticket to go to the next stage. Right? They can do it. RQ Hoshi only with 2 kills, down by 5,000 gold. I don't think Skylar has the Holy Crystal just yet. And at this point, he might need the Divine Glaive as well.
It's a complete reversal from what we saw in their match against Fnatic Onyx yesterday. Aurora showing them how it is done. The wave are gonna be beautiful 3-man flicker. Chikundo knockout right into the real world manipulation. No one can be doing some damage as Siren comes in with the electro final blow, but he's not able to really do anything at all. Vengeance gonna be soaking all of that up. And now Womankind is in the base. He takes a double kill. You're only leaving Rins alive. This is the opening Aurora wanted. 3v1. They're gonna push straight down mid and look to end game 2.
Coaches and goal laners would say that what Domain Kite did was a mistake. But the dopamine you get from doing that cool of play, I'd say it's worth it. It's worth it. I mean,
maybe
like,
he should rename himself to Dopamine Kite.
You're a goddamn genius, Tafa.
I
didn't even think of that. Dopamine Kite. Oh, that's... You know what? There you go. You know what? Yeah, I approve.
Akan jadi match yang panjang.
I got approval, guys. Happy about that one.
Beneran.
He tried to jump back in, to jump away, and then he just blew up. This is where Natan does start getting a little bit scary, but they only have one inhibitor to play with.
Yeah, but you know, that's good. First you kill the gold leader, and then you kill the EXP, so there's a chance. Like if you're in RQ's position, any good thing that happens, you just gotta take it, right? If your manager buys you a burger, you're like, we're losing, but at least we get a burger. You gotta be happy with what you got.
You know what, LaFell, you are absolutely right. Sometimes you just gotta appreciate the little things in life. And right now, any little victory RQ can get, they gotta hold on
Jadi
to
scalernya
and
jangan
turn
didapetin sama,
into
yang
a
penting scalernya
snowball.
jaga posisi kok.
Yeah, right now RQ they're probably talking about, you know what, a burger is great, but
Bisa
you know what would be
bantai-bantai,
even better
kelar
if
dah
we
nih
can
game.
steal this
Nah,
Lord
bisa
away.
comeback tuh.
The problem is they can't move forward. They
Juga
don't really have a
scalernya
lot of
gak gampang
avenues
ketangkap
to
sama
come and check
cowok.
this Lord. And it looks like Aurora wants RQ Hoshi to come in. Never mind, they're bursting it down.
Yeah, they know that
Tampaknya ini
RQ
Fredrin
is
ini
not
mulai
gonna
laku
contest
lagi
at
ya.
this point. It would
Apalagi
be a little bit
nanti ini
suicide
di
to try
rank.
and jump into that because Aurora still has a pretty big net worth
Aku
lead at this
terpakai di
stage.
ESL
They're just
sama
trying to hold
Aurora lagi
because
sama
if they
Demon
steal RWM with Deadly Catch, their base defense is actually not bad.
Oh yeah, honestly not bad. And looking at the gold here, Skylar has caught up, only differentiating by 1,000 gold, so it is still okay. It is good. Hoshi, this is probably the strongest position that they can be in because, like you said, the wave clear is very good. And it's on Aurora not to make the mistake because the deadly catch, the damage coming in from the Natan, they can do something here. Hoshi can do something here.
Absolutely, but that'll depend on them. The Lord is crashing in. They're taking a good amount of damage.
Bahkan
Enoch in a lot of
Scalar
trouble.
bisa-
Avatar the Guardian forward. Maybe should have used it
Wah,
defensively, but he is actually able to survive and clear the minion wave for now. With
Scalar,
manipulation
Scalar,
being used
mana
by
Scalar
Raze to
itu?
actually deal with a lot of
Oh,
the
itu
minions coming in for
Scalar,
Aurora
macam
and even take out Yue at the
Makanya
same
kalau sudah
time.
game ya,
RQ Hoshi
Morikan
are
tuh.
able to survive to fight another day.
Yeah, that was good, but now another wave is coming. Can they
Tuh,
do it
tuh,
again?
kan,
Now
oh,
Raze
Rene
dashes in,
Jangnya.
gets hit with the Spirit Mystery.
Oh.
Unfortunately, no stun here. Dyron's still alive. Skylar uses
Nggak
Spirit
bisa
Fire, but the
kalah.
minion wave comes on in. The crystal is
Kalah,
wide
set
open, and because of
2-0.
that,
Pembalasan
Aurora
dendam dari
will be
Fnatic
your first
Onyx,
team
coy.
moving on to the next stage of the
Aurora
Snapdragon Pro
mengamuk,
Series
guys, karena
Mlbb.
rekan
Yep, they'll be
senegaranya
going for
dibantai
the
kemarin sama
challenge
Hoshi, guys.
season. And again, this is a spectacular performance from Aurora. If we're gonna say
Dari
bad
game
things,
pertama sih yang
unfortunately,
bikin
game number
itu,
one and
yang
game number two, both Edok
ngeri
as
banget
well as
cara
Sutsujin really
permainannya.
didn't have a good match.
Yue
Dyron
pakai
as well,
valenya
I
itu
kind of feel like Dyron
ngambat
just
banget Fanny untuk
straight up
masuk ke dalam
lost the
warnya.
laning phase against Edward because talking to professional players,
Kelas
Edward is one of those lane
Khaled
bullies
aja
that is really hard for anyone to
mati tuh
overcome.
langsung mati tuh pakai ultinya Khaled.
You can
Sekarang
tell that he
baru
was
itu
having a pretty good time there. CC as a hero does deal with a lot of
dari
EXP
cownya
later
Renejai.
1v1 quite
Cownya
easily.
Renejai
The
mengerikan juga,
Benedetta
guys.
meant to try and open up the map a little bit more for RRQ, but without Petrify means that
Let's
he's
try,
not
let's
really
try.
able to
Let's
set
try.
up
Okay.
team fights, and so a
Sampai
lot
jumpa
more
di
pressure again goes on to
podcast
Edok,
selanjutnya.
who
Bye bye.
really wasn't able to create the space